proximal half of the duodenum, right? So now we will see about the stomach. Basically, like stomach, if you take the gut tube, it's a simple tube, right? But if you take the like final shape of the stomach is totally like bent. It is having some greater curvature, lesser curvature. It doesn't appear like a tube, right? Rather, it is appearing like a different structure. How the stomach will get its shape and position during the development? How the stomach will get its shape and position? We'll see, right? Basically, but like I just wanted to say that development of stomach basically it starts during end of 4th week and the 5th week. Okay, it starts during the end of 4th week the development of stomach starts, and by 5th week like it will start getting its shape. Okay, this is a basic point. And also there are 3 important reasons, out of which I tell you only 2 reasons. 2 important reasons why stomach, how the stomach is getting its shape and like position. How the stomach will get its shape and position, I am telling you. One thing is like the stomach gets its position. Where is the position of the stomach? Center. But the gut tube was in the center, right? But now the stomach is going towards the left, right? Basically, the position of the stomach, okay, is acquired due to not over, we should not write it as over, okay, due to excessive growth of liver. Means that once the liver started growing faster than the stomach, what has happened is like the liver is growing enormously. As a result, it slowly started pushing the stomach towards the left side. Okay, and also, how is the stomach getting that shape, like inverted or oblique J shape? The shape of the stomach is acquired due to excessive growth of. See, I am writing it as dorsal border. Excessive growth of dorsal border, which means that this is the ventral surface of the stomach, or the ventral border, and back one is the dorsal border. So the dorsal border is growing excessively large when compared to the ventral border. As a result, the stomach will acquire its position. Now we will see how the stomach will develop. So now, basically, in the standard textbooks like Datta and other Gray's Anatomy, all those textbooks, they say that the stomach will rotate only once. But other textbooks, they give you that the stomach will rotate twice. Okay, the stomach will rotate twice. But the standard textbook says that it rotates only once, right? So, however, as your IBC and all those things, they say that the stomach will rotate twice. I am taking that a twice rotation, 2 rotations. Basically, stomach rotates twice. Okay, I am just writing it here. Stomach rotates twice. Okay, it rotates twice 2 times, which means that the first rotation, okay, occurs along its longitudinal axis. Now this is the most important concept. If you can understand this concept, we are done with the stomach, development of stomach. See, the first rotation, what is happening is like it is rotating along its longitudinal axis. This is my longitudinal axis. Along my longitudinal axis, I can rotate the stomach either like this or either like this. If I am rotating the stomach like this, it is called as what? Clockwise rotation, right? Clockwise rotation. If I am rotating opposite way, it is called as the anti-clockwise. This is called as the rotation along the long axis. Okay, rotation along the either this way or this way. I'll tell you which way it will rotate now. So along the long axis, it is rotating once. Now the second rotation occurs along its antero-posterior axis. This is the second concept. Antero-posterior axis is nothing but this one. I am keeping this one. This is the antero-posterior axis, right? So along the antero-posterior axis, stomach has to rotate like this or like this. Anyway, some way, right? Stomach has to along the anteroposterior axis, it can rotate like this, okay, or it can go like this in opposite direction. Now we will see how the stomach will start. So basically, the gut tube was a single tube-like structure, but in the foregut, what happens is like by the end of fourth week and at the beginning of the fifth week, what happens is like we'll see a nice fusiform swelling, which appears in the foregut, in the lower part of the foregut. A fusiform swelling will appear in the lower part of the foregut by the end of fourth week. So how it appears is, if I cut this, upper part of the foregut here, this is the upper part and this is the lower part. Okay. Also, I wanted to take the cross section of the stomach, how it appears. So if I have to take the cross section, I'll just take the cross section like this. In the cross section, the stomach is like this. Inside, you will see, somewhat. In the stomach, what will happen? Vulva will be there, right? The gastric vulva. So I am just drawing this gastric. This is the cross section of the stomach. Okay. Now see, in this, both the sections, longitudinal view, the or otherwise you can see the anteroposterior view above, and the transverse view below. So here, what I wanted to show you is like, in this structure, this border, whatever is there, the posterior part, right? This border means that is the posterior surface. This is nothing but called as the dorsal surface, right? This is called as what? The dorsal surface. And this anterior one, this is called as what? Ventral surface. And also I wanted to write here, that is, this is the right side, am I correct? Am I correct? And this will be the left side. This will be the left side. In this view again I am writing, this is the dorsal side, this is the ventral side. I will also write here, okay, this is the dorsal surface, this is the ventral surface, and before going to write right and left side, I am keeping one nerve here. Very important nerve for the supply of stomach. And also another nerve here. So now I will write it as this one as the right vagus nerve. Am I correct? The stomach receives its nerve supply from the vagus, right? So this is the right vagus nerve and this is the left vagus nerve. This is the right vagus nerve and the left vagus nerve, right? ఇప్పుడు picture అర్థమైంది కదా? వెంటనేమో dorsal surface, ముందరది ventral surface, right side and the left side. Okay. Now what happens is like something happens here, very important. Now already I told that the stomach will rotate twice. The first rotation occurs along its what? Longitudinal axis. So now I am just going to keep a longitudinal axis like this. I am just drawing the longitudinal axis and I am just keeping the dotted line which is passing through this stomach tube. Okay, it's passing through the stomach tube and this is the axis. Okay, this is the longitudinal axis. What you are seeing? Is it clear? Clear? Longitudinal axis, right? Okay, now. So in this longitudinal axis, what happens is like the stomach is rotating. Now please see, the stomach rotates 90 degrees. What is this? Clockwise rotation, which means that, see now the stomach, this fusiform stomach started rotating in clockwise direction by only 90 degrees, not 180 degrees, right? If I have to turn 180 degrees, then I have to turn like this, right? But I am not turning for 180 degrees, I am turning only 90 degrees, right? So here the stomach is started rotating 90 degrees clockwise, which means that now this part of the stomach will rotate by 90 degrees like this, and also this part of the stomach will rotate here like this by 90 degrees. This is the 90 degrees rotation. As a result of this 90 degrees rotation, what happens here is like, you can see that this is the stomach. You can see the stomach here. Now I am just drawing this stomach like this. Now you can see, as a result of this 90 degrees rotation, now what happens is like, this is the dorsal surface, right? This is the dorsal surface. Before going that, I will write here. This is the right side, am I correct? Is it the right side of the stomach? Okay, this is what? Left side, okay? Is it correct? Right side, left side. As a result of 90 degrees rotation, the dorsal surface rotated by means that this dorsal surface rotated by 90 degrees, which means that the dorsal surface is coming here. So this is the dorsal surface which came here, and this will be the ventral surface. So you can see that the ventral surface came towards the right side and the dorsal surface slowly started towards the left side. Is it clear? Is it clear? But now the thing is like, I will just draw the same diagram here. Okay. I am just going to draw the same diagram here in the transfer section. In this transfer section, what is happening is like here also, now I have rotated the stomach in clockwise, 90 degrees clockwise direction, right? So I am just rotating 90 degrees. So as a result of this 90 degrees rotation, what has happened is like, let me keep the same thing here. This is the longitudinal axis. Okay, it has already rotated now. And now you can see, as a result of this longitudinal rotation, clockwise 90 degrees rotation, the position of this vagus nerve has changed. Now the right vagus nerve came towards which side? Towards which side? Dorsal side. And the left vagus nerve came towards the ventral side. So I am here writing it as the right vagus nerve, which forms the right vagal or the posterior vagal trunk. Okay? Posterior vagal trunk. And the left vagus nerve forms the, I will write here as the left vagus, which forms the anterior vagal trunk. So the posterior vagal trunk and the anterior vagal trunk came into position now. So the right vagus nerve finally reached to what position? Posterior. And the left vagus nerve came anterior. So this is how the rotation happens. Okay? That is the first rotation along its longitudinal axis. Now, already I have written here that due to the excessive growth of dorsal border, the stomach is going to appear, take its shape, right? So now what this means that what? The dorsal border will grow much more higher when compared to the growth of the ventral border. As a result of this, differential growth, what happens is like now the stomach is, now you can see the stomach will take this shape. So this is the final shape of the stomach, how it acquired. So now, which means that now you can see that the dorsal border is going more, right? More and more. But however, you can see, if you look at this line, that is what the longitudinal axis, what is it happening? Is it changing? No. Still the longitudinal axis is same. Which means that along the longitudinal axis, what is happening is like the dorsal surface or the dorsal border, started growing enormously when compared to the ventral border. As a result, the dorsal border has, along the midline, the dorsal border has grown like this. But now, if you observe carefully at this diagram, this is called as the cephalic end or the cardiac end. Am I correct? Cardiac end of the stomach, and this is called as the caudal end or the pyloric end of the stomach. Now, as a result of this differential growth, what happened is like there is a small concavity which has appeared on the right side, which further we will be calling this as this concavity as what? Now, as a result of this excessive growth on the left side, we will further call it as what? Am I correct? But now, in the adult stomach, if you take the adult stomach, do you see the cardiac end and the pyloric end at the same level, along the same longitudinal axis? Right? So, for this purpose, the second rotation occurs, that is along the anteroposterior axis. So, if I have to show you the anteroposterior axis, what I will try to do is like, I am just drawing, I will just use another color. I am just drawing another, like longitudinal axis. I am just drawing this longitudinal axis from here. I have taken a longitudinal axis like, anteroposterior axis like this. This is the anteroposterior axis which I am showing you in the diagram. So now this stomach along its anteroposterior axis, again it rotates. It rotates a little bit like this. This is how it rotates, and also this portion is rotating like this. So which means that this is coming like this and this one is going here. As a result of this rotation, what happens is like finally you can see that the stomach is now attaining its shape, final shape. But what is the difference here? If you see here, right, if you see here, now I am just drawing the same longitudinal axis here. I am just drawing the same longitudinal axis which is passing here, right? This is which axis? Orange one? Longitudinal axis. If you take along this longitudinal axis, now I am just closing this end and closing this pyloric end. Now as a result of this anterior-posterior rotation along the anteroposterior axis, now this cardiac end moved towards which side?
Right.
Towards left and downwards also. Am I correct? You can see. This means that here it was there. Now slowly it moved like this. As a result, the cardiac end of the stomach has moved downward towards the left side and little down. And now if you take this pyloric end, as it is moving like this pyloric end, I will write here, the pyloric end moved upwards and to the right. Am I correct? As a result, finally, the stomach has acquired its shape and also proper position. What you see in the adult stomach. This is how the stomach develops. So this is about the development of the stomach. But now, I also wanted to show you something like how the stomach, is going towards the left in transverse section. You know very well that in the last lecture I told you about what the dorsal mesogastrium and the ventral mesogastrium, right? If we take the dorsal mesogastrium and the ventral mesogastrium, I'll just draw this one here. This is nothing but the dorsal mesogastrium and the ventral mesogastrium. Okay. Let me take this diagram. Draw it larger, not small. Little bit larger, because you cannot understand this. I'll make this picture a little larger. I'll take it like this. Okay. Now I just wanted to keep. This is nothing but the what? Mesogastrium or the mesentery which I am going to draw, right? So now this is the mesentery in the transverse section. Okay. So in this mesentery, what is happening is like here is the double layer of peritoneum which is now covering one structure here in the posterior aspect called as the spleen. After covering the spleen, the same mesogastrium or the double layer of mesogastrium is going towards another structure here called as what? The stomach. That is the gastrosplenic ligaments. But in the last lecture, I said that basically the liver develops in which mesogastrium? Ventral mesogastrium. Was I correct? So this is the developmental part for the liver, right? And of course, behind these two structures here, you will be seeing the kidneys. These are the kidneys, two developing kidneys, how they are developing, and in between that, you will be seeing the dorsal aorta. So let me keep other structures in this one. That is, this is nothing but the developing spleen. This is the developing stomach, and this is the developing liver bud. Okay. So in this way, now you can see that basically the whole abdominal cavity is divided into two regions. Now you can see this part is called as the dorsal mesogastrium, which is posterior, and this one is called as the ventral mesogastrium, which is anterior. Clear? Right? So I will label them as, simply I will label them as, this is called as what the, I will write outside only, this is called as what the dorsal mesogastrium. Okay, this is called as the dorsal mesogastrium, and this is called as what the ventral mesogastrium. Now you can see that from the ventral mesogastrium you are seeing the development of liver duct, right? And just I will write this as the developing liver duct, and this is what the developing stomach, and this is what the developing spleen. Now see, within this dorsal mesogastrium itself, this dorsal mesogastrium is further subdivided into two parts. Namely, this part what you are seeing here as the dorsal part or the portion of dorsal mesogastrium. Am I correct? And also now in front of the spleen there is another one here, which is called as the ventral portion or the ventral part of dorsal mesogastrium. Okay? Right. Accommodation reflex వస్తుంది కొన్ని సెకండ్స్ లోపల మళ్ళీ మీకు బోర్డు కనిపిస్తుంది ఏం వరీ అవ్వదు. That is the light reflex of the eye. I remember that. So now you are seeing the dorsal part of the dorsal mesogastrium and the ventral part of the dorsal mesogastrium. Now this ventral mesogastrium is also divided into two portions. If you see, this is called as what? The dorsal portion of ventral mesogastrium. And also you can see the ventral portion of ventral mesogastrium. So as the liver started growing now enormously, what is happening is like slowly the liver started growing towards this part, that is towards the right side. As the liver is growing towards the right side very fast, enormously. What is happening is like this liver is pulling this ventral part and also the dorsal part towards the right side. And now as it is moving towards the right side, the organs, other structures which are there in the dorsal mesogastrium slowly started, like pushing the other parts towards the left side. Finally, as a result of this push, what has happened is like finally it resulted in this structure. It is little different. This is how it appears. Now you can see the shape of the right dorsal and the ventral mesogastriums have changed. How it is changing? Why it is changing? Because now you can see the same structures here. See, now this is again the double layer of peritoneum. First of all, it has covered what? The spleen. Okay. Now it has started slowly covering the stomach. Okay. And now it started slowly covering what? The enlarged what? Liver. So as a result of this covering this enlarged liver, you can see that now it is acquiring its shape like this. So now if I have to put these structures again, same structures, you can see that this is the spleen which moved towards the left side. Now the stomach which also has slowly started moved towards the left side, and now this is the liver which has occupied the right hypochondrium, and even it is extending into the left hypochondrium. So in this way you can see that now the position of the liver has changed from central portion towards the right side, and the stomach has been pushed towards the left side, right? As well, the five-finger position of the stomach. So this is all about the development of the stomach. So you can only 2 points what you have to understand is like stomach will rotate it twice. One rotation occurs along its own longitudinal axis, and the second rotation occurs along its own anteroposterior axis. That's it. Once if you remember these two axes, you are done.